Riding with a cape on and no head or neck. For the love of Edna Mode, that thing's gonna fly off at the first opportunity. Generating sounds without the lungs.
I want a colossal donut, just like the one on the sign. Donuts! That's false advertising!
To be fair, there's no picture or price next to the colossal donut sign, so this is only false advertising in the sense that it hasn't been advertised at all.
Astronomers from Tacoma to Vladivostok have just reported an ionic disturbance in the vicinity of the Van Allen belt.
Scientific jargon news position. Also, trying to preemptively explain how giant mascots could have possibly come to life, as if this is the most unbelievable thing I've seen happen in this show, parallel Halloween universe or otherwise. Hosiery that looks less like leg attire and more like face condoms. Batmaning the giant donut on your first try. I feel like I just invented a euphemism for something, but I have no idea what. Quick, Robin, to the comments!
I got your donut, Lard Lad, and what are you gonna do about it?
This lightning strike has some outstanding karmic timing, but how does Lard Lad remember events that happened before lightning gifted him with sentience? But how is it making this noise? Did the lightning also grant the gift of internal organs and vocal cords? The supernatural lightning strike seems oddly specific.
Homer, where did you get that?
Marge leads with this, instead of the more confounding question, how did you get the giant donut through the house and into the living room? What? That's not ridiculous enough for you? You want a punchline too? Well, I do not believe this half-baked conceit needs further disproving. The giant Tim O'Shanter head is slinking along the building with such menace. I can do a whole video of background joke sin removals for this show. I mean, I won't because I'm lazy, but I can still take a sin off for this one. Fine, the magic woo-woo lightning storm Frankenstein all the mascots to life, but how did it know to give this magic carpet the ability to fly? Been reading a lot of Aladdin, have we, Mr. Magic Lightning Storm from space? You're telling me Channel 6 had enough money to build a giant 3D rendering of Kent Brockman and embed it in a billboard? Not only that, they painted and finished the parts that were hidden inside the billboard? Show doesn't know how to local news budget correctly. Discarding your shells on the floor. Clean that shit up. What do you think this is, a Texas Roadhouse?
He came to life. Good for him.
Easter sermons. That billboard had legs, too?
These monsters are destroying everything and everyone we hold dear.
Thing every political party ever says about the other political party somehow makes it into the script.
Hey, what's that in his footprint?
Whatever it is, whoever put it there made the interesting choice of writing it in reverse so that it would read properly in the event that the mascot came to life and needed to imprint a clue on someone's lawn.
Advertising is a funny thing. If people stop paying attention to it, pretty soon it goes away.
The unskippable ads on this very video would beg to differ.
Like that old woman who couldn't find the beef?
Disrespecting Clara Peller. That's right, didn't even have to Google it. That piece of information was just hanging out in my brain, taking up space that could have been filled with an inspirational quote, the quadratic equation, or a recipe for a good lasagna.
Guarantee void in Tennessee.
That sounds about right.
Just don't look, just don't look. It worked! They're all dead!
The mascots died because everyone stopped looking at them, causing them to lose their brand power, if you will. But that means the lightning didn't just bring them to life, it also imbued them with a power source directly linked to their core function as an advertisement. Why would a freak storm from space do that? Why do I keep questioning the logic of a 30-year-old fictional storm in a beloved cartoon? I don't know. Maybe I was struck by space lightning and given an oddly specific purpose too. Pro tip, don't think about the amount of slobber that must be gathering at the base of these helmets. I said don't think about it.
Because the next advertisement you see could destroy your house and eat your family.
We'll be right back.
Funny joke, except I paid for streaming with no ads, so joke's on you, suckers. Unless it's one of those things where the streamer somehow doesn't count promos for its own content as ads. F***ing streamers. Phallic head trauma like this isn't real. It's a fallacy. Also, that frisbee hit Bart square between the eyes, so this is a misplaced bruise boner at best. Willie's rake has 5 prongs, and yet Bart only has 4 scrapes. And no, that doesn't mean I want to see more chest wounds in a 10-year-old. I just want the existing ones to be accurate.
Groundskeeper Willie was in my nightmare too, but he got me with hedge clippers.
Did it happen in the last 3 seconds? Because your hair peaks seem to have waited to fall off until you shared this reveal. Whichever of the fundamental forces of nature that are being neglected, allowing Milhouse's glasses to stay on his head.
Remember, class, the worse you do on this standardized test, the more funding the school gets, so don't knock yourselves out.
But also...
You've mastered a dead tongue, but can you handle a live one?
saying this to a child. But didn't he die in this classroom? Didn't these kids see him get put on the cart and covered up? Why is shock?
Oh, just get it out of here. Not into the kindergarten.
It all started on the 13th hour of the 13th day of the 13th month. We were there to discuss the misprinted calendars the school had purchased.
It took you until the middle of Smarch to notice the calendars have been misprinted. Also having a PTA meeting on a Friday night. Also, why are they meeting at night when you said it was the 13th hour? Why is it dark at 1 p.m.? To be fair, this is a terrible place to practice your bagpiping. Having said that, there's really no good place to practice your bagpiping other than the vacuum of space where they can't be heard.
Help! Please help me!
Willie, please. Mr. Van Houten has the floor.
This is just ridiculous. The man's on fire. If you don't deal with it, he'll ruin the floor and that chair. And worst of all, you'll have to wait until you've hired a new groundskeeper to get any of it fixed.
You'll pay for this with your children's blood!
Generating sounds without the lungs, larynx, or vocal folds. Also, fire that's hot enough to completely disintegrate all flesh but somehow still leaves remnants of cloth. Simpsons really did suck back in the early years, huh?
Oh, right. How you gonna get him? Skeleton power?
Chief Wiggum would be excellent at TVSins. And honestly, I always thought it would have been Lisa. Using 10 coffee mugs and 2 teacups instead of just refilling them. It's almost like they only did it for visual representation of how much caffeine they're drinking.
Hey, lawn boy, you missed a spot.
This wouldn't even work in the real world, let alone a dream world. I mean, if there were psychotic half-man, half-mowers in the real world. Look, there's a lot we don't know about the universe yet. I'm all for the T2 homage, but if Willie can turn into an elephant tank or missile, why couldn't he turn into a fly or water or... Wait, a tank was the perfect choice. Why didn't that work?
Willie's gone for good.
Premature celebration.
Hope you get reincarnated as someone who can stay awake for 15 minutes.
It's been less than 2 minutes since Bart fell asleep. Don't you bring your Inception bullshit into my Simpsons logic. I won't stand for it. Okay, so if I assumed h equals 8, then r cubed would probably be what? 18 times 18 times 18, then times e, then times... Wait, unless he is actually a stand-in for 3. Is O a stand-in for 0? Does that mean the vignette title is actually 0? I was told there would be no math.
Better write this one out in the closet.
Sorry, Dad, this is our spot.
It'll be expressed as such in a moment, but this is a dumbass place to hide from visitors considering it's one of the few spaces guaranteed to be accessed when you have a guest over. I get Homer or Bart being this dumb, but Lisa should know better. Also, expecting me to believe that 2 siblings would agree to share a hiding spot. Expecting me to believe that a cat and dog would agree to share a hiding spot. Also, expandable 2-dimensional pets.
I'm baking like a meatloaf under this wet wool.
I hate that this is probably exactly how Selma makes her meatloaf.
Hey, you can just suck 'em out.
Escar gross.
What's going on here? I'm so bulgy.
Fun concept and all, but does this mean the Simpsons crew know they're only 2-dimensional? There have been entire episodes about Homer being overweight and so many moments of things being in Marge's hair. If they were truly 2D, nothing would work. Unlike this premise, which is hilarious despite it not working, and now I've slipped into an alternate dimension where I can't decide if I'm removing a sin or adding a sin.
Well, as that tree said to the lumberjack, I'm stumped.
What a dumb joke. The tree didn't say anything to the lumberjack. The tree had been chopped down and now lay dead on the forest soil. This hexadecimal run apparently translates to Frink rules, which indicates to me that Frink had something to do with creating this universe, and the fact that we never get to see an episode of him plotting to do this is a sin.
I feel like I'm wasting a fortune just standing here.
Actually, if you're just standing there, it costs less. It's all the moving that really drives the price up on that circa 1995 3D rendering budget.
I wish I read that book by that wheelchair guy.
I don't remember Ironside having much to say about black holes and parallel dimensions.
That does it. I'm going in.
Nobody thought to ask Bart about what he was doing when he disappeared to find this length of rope that every household apparently has, and then started to anchor it to something in the living room.
Bart, no!
Marge seems concerned, but apparently not quite concerned enough to just yank him back in by the rope he's tied to. Generating sounds without the lungs, larynx, vocal folds, or nose. There is no way Homer could hit this dumpster from that angle without going through part of that building. Look, if you're going to play in the physics of the real world, we're going to send you based on the physics of the real world. You brought this on yourself.
Ooh, erotic cakes.
I was tempted to sin the missed opportunity of experiencing an entire episode of a beloved animated character dealing with in the real world, but Homer ending up in an erotic cake shop is so perfect, I can't bring myself to do it. So, you, Space Jam, for wasting a similar opportunity.
My is on fire.
My name is Cecil. I'll sell you gas or diesel cars on my lot. Some of them new, some of them not.
It can't be. What is it? It can't be. What did you do, Ray? Oh, Are you gonna probe us? Why does everyone always assume that? What am I doing? Am I harvesting farts? How much can I learn from an ass?
Y'all want to see a dead body? Mom, Dad, Martin died at school today.
I think you confuse me with someone who gives a shit.
Then take a tip from Mr. Paul Anka.
Denim, haircut, backpacks, come get your backpack.
Boots and pants and boots and pants.
Sinky sand!
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Ooh, erotic cakes.
To be fair, this one does have nuts.